Very good evening, students. Today, I'm going to start a new chapter of your curriculum, that is string. So, what string is? We all know what is string in C language. According to the concept of C language, we know that string is nothing but a character array, ends with null character. But in the context of Java, it is not like that. Yes, definitely it's a character array, but it not ends with a null character. The string here in Java is treated as a class, better to say an object, because a string class is already defined in Java. And today I'm going to discuss the basic class structure, rather the constructor definition and the defined methods. We have to know about the structure, rather the signature of the structure of those methods and constructor. So here in Java, string is already a defined class. So that's why by convention, as we know, the class name starts with a capital letter. So by convention, string, we have used string word in different times, just like public, static, void, main, string, args. So string s is in capital because string is a defined class in Java. So it's a basically in Java, string is basically an object that represents sequence of character values. An array of characters works same as Java string. So this is the default constructor that you can use to create an empty string. String s equal to new string, which will create an instance of a string with no characters in it. So we know what is the meaning of default constructor, which one is parameterless. So this string constructor doesn't have any parameter, and we already know what is the meaning of constructor. Constructor is nothing but a special type of method, rather function. Constructor is nothing but a special type of method or function. The name of the constructor is same with the class name. So that's why here the string method is name is string, and the constructor will not return any value, not even void. And the important point is, what is the purpose of this constructor? It is used to initialize the value of member variables. So here string constructor is used to do what? String constructor is used to basically create an empty string. And the string class provides a variety of constructors to handle this. Going to the next slide. Yes, this is the second variation of the string constructor. What it is doing? It is taking an array of characters. Fine. And you have to pass that character array as a parameter of the constructor. Fine. Look here, consider the example. Here the name of the array is cats, CHARS, and I have initialized the array with the value ABC. So next, when I am calling the constructor string, what I have done, I just passed that array name CHARS as parameter to this constructor. And what it returns? It returns a string. What is the value of the string? It is ABC. Hope you understood. So this is the second variation of the string constructor. First one is the parameterless, which basically creates an empty string. Second parameter is basically second constructor, second type of. It is basically create a string by considering the characters which we passed as a parameter to the constructor. We are passing a character array as a parameter to the constructor. Third, a sub-range of character array can be specified. Use the constructor shown here. Look, it's a string constructor. The first parameter is the name of the array, right? Cats. What is the second parameter? It is the start index. And what is the third parameter? It is number characters, number cats. Fine. So hopefully you understood what means what. Start index is basically telling us from where it will start to use for the string creation. Suppose in the example we considered an array which consists the element A, B, C, D, E, F. Fine. And in constructor string, our first parameter is CHARS. That is the array name itself. As per the signature defined just above this, first parameter is the array name. So that's why we have passed the array name. Second parameter is the start index. The start index is 2. When I am mentioning the start index is 2, actually it starts from index 0. Array index starts from 0. So that's why it starts from 2. So it starts from C. 0, index of A is 0, B is 1, and C is 2. From there, third parameter is int numcats. How many number of characters? Answer is 3. I have considered 3 characters. So from here I am considering 3 characters, C, D, E. So when the string formed, if you print the value of S, you will get C, D, E. So that's why it is mentioned over here. Start index specifies the index at which the sub-range begins. What we are doing here in this constructor, we are specifying a sub-range of character array which is used to create a string by using string constructor. And here the CHARS is my array name. Second one is the starting index of the sub-range begins, and the numcat specifies the number of characters to use. Next, here in this case, we are using string constructor in just different variation, where we are considering, or rather we are passing a string object as a parameter. This string object, this constructor actually returning a string which is similar to the past object. So it is basically creating a clone. It is basically creating a clone to the other object. So here carries cat C. I have considered Java JAVA. This is the character set of cat C. First time in the first line, in the second string S1, in the first object case, we have considered the parameterized constructed string, which is taking what a character array. Using those character of the array, using those characters which are inside the array, it creates a string. So the S1 value will be Java because it takes parameter character array C, which consists the array elements JAVA. So definitely string S1 will return you back Java. But when I'm trying to create another object, string object, that is S2, and when I am calling the string constructor, I am passing S1 over there. So what is the meaning of that? I am passing a string object as a parameter of the string constructor. So what it will do? It will just create a clone of S1. So definitely the value of S2 will be also Java. The constructor initialize S2 with the string Java. Hopefully you understood this concept. So this is the another variation of string constructor. First one, we are passing, first one is the empty string. Second case is we are passing a character array. Third case is we are using a sub-range of an given array. And the fourth case is we are just passing a string object, and using that object, a similar string object will be created. Yes. Next variation. Here we are giving next two variation, better to say, not one. One is string byte ASCII cats, and second one is string ASCII cats in start index in num characters. These two are bit similar with the previously discussed constructor, but instead of character array, here we pass the byte array. Suppose if you pass a array data type byte, and the value of this array is the ASCII values of the character, just like 65, 66, 67, 68. So what is the ASCII, what is the corresponding character of ASCII value 65? It is capital E. 66, it is capital B. 67, it is capital C, and 68, it is capital D. So if you passed an array just like this, 65, a byte array which consists the elements 65, 66, 67, 68, the string will be created with the corresponding character value of that ASCII. So a byte array can also be passed as a parameter to the string constructor. And similarly, second case, again the sub ranges of the array, rather instead of a character array, we are passing here byte array. But the syntax is just similar as previous, where I uses the concept of sub ranges of an array to create another string. So here ASCII cats specifies an array of bytes. The second form allows you to specify sub-range. In each of this constructor, byte to character conversion is done by using the default character encoding of this platform. So that is done by the Java itself. That is not to do, not anything you have to do. This character conversion from ASCII to character, this default character encoding of the, this is done by the default character encoding of the platform. So you don't have to do anything extra for this conversion purpose. Fine. So instead of character array, we can pass a byte array, and we can use the sub ranges concept over here also. That is the main thing. Oh, this is an example: 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. String S1, first case, that is string S1 new string ASCII. So it will definitely give you A, B, 65 is capital A, B, C, D, E, F. And the second case, we are considering the sub ranges of this array. 2, 3. The 2 index value is 67, 0, 1, 2, 67. From 67, I have to take 3 corresponding values, 67, 68, 69. So how much it will be? CDE. Look. So second, for the S2, the output will be CDE. For the first case, output will be A, B, C, D, E, F. So hopefully this much is clear to you. So far, we have created a string by using constructor. But in Java, automatically constructs a string object if you use a string literal. Just like look at the third line of this code fragment. First case, it is a char cats ABC. There's nothing but a character array. For the second case, second line, we have called the constructor string constructor, passing the array cats, so that S1 will be created, the string S1 will be created using the array named chars. But in the third line, what we have written, that is written inside the double quotation, ABC. So this is the concept of string literals. When we are initializing any value within double quotation, Java automatically constructs a string object. Okay? So that's why it is written, you can call methods directly to the quoted string as if it were an object reference. As the following statement shows, it calls the length method, and you can call the length method also on this string ABC. It will print the value 3. Normally method can be invoked on an object. So that's because it will automatically, rather in the back end, it will create an object S2. S2.length will definitely give you the value of the length of the string. That is that regarding that we have no confusion. But if we write abc.length, then also it will give you the length of the string. Fine, because it behaves like an object reference. Hopefully this much is clear. So string can be created by using constructor, by using string literals. Now, string concatenation. We already discussed about the topic string concatenation, but Java doesn't allow any operators to be applied to string object. Java is not allowing any operators to apply to string object. The exception is for the plus operator, which basically concatenates two strings and producing a string object as the result. This allows you to chain together a series of plus operations. So we already use this plus operator in different kinds of SOPLN statement. Fine. So plus operator, we know it used as a concatenation operator. And the thing is that it returns a string object. Look, here we considered one line is not written over here. Oh, sorry, it is written. Say it is age 9, it is also a string. So when I am concatenating this, this is a string, plus age, this is also a string, plus years old, that is another string. So all these three will give you the result, he is 9 years old, right? Because age is a variable, age is not a string itself, it's a string variable. So we are concatenating the value of this string variable with this he is, and finally he is 9 is the result. Then again the concatenation operator works and it will give you he is 9 years old. But the thing is, thing remains same when we are concatenating with different data types except string. Here we are concatenating all string variables and string literals. But if they are not same in all the cases, just like this, string is 4 plus 2 plus 2. How much it will give? Hopefully you may think this result will give you 4, 2 plus 2, 4. So you will get FOUR:4. You may think so, but no. And practically, The result is not like this. The result will be 4, then 2, then again 2. Why? What is the justification? The justification is the operator precedence causes the concatenation of 4 with the string equivalent of 2 to take first. That means what I mentioned that the precedence of concatenation is higher than the addition. That's why 4 plus 2, this concatenation occurs first. And when this concatenation operation done between 4 plus 2, that means this 4, it's a string, and this plus 2 is not a string, it's an integer. I actually let you understand this concept. When you are using a concatenation operator between string and some other data type, say it is integer. So what is the result? The result is a string itself. So when you do the concatenation operation between this line 4 and 2, you will get 4 2. This 4 2 is nothing but what? A string. This 4 2 is nothing but a string. Then the remaining part left, that is again plus 2. So 4 2 and concatenating, you are concatenating another 2. So that's why you are getting output 4 2 2 instead of 4 4. Hopefully you understood this concept. So if you add using addition operator, which used as a concatenation operator in case of string, if you are using both concatenation as well as addition, try to implement, then according to the precedence, string concatenation will be done first, and string concatenation operation will return you back a string. That's why the result of this, you will get a 4 2, which is nothing but a string. Again, this 4 2 will be concatenated with second 2, that will give you 4 2 2. It's an entire string. Yes, the next question is, if I want to print 4 4, then how we need to represent the thing? You need to write this 4 plus within bracket 2 plus 2. Now this 2 plus 2 operations will be done first because we have written this 2 plus 2 inside a parenthesis. So this operation will be done first, then that will be concatenated with 4. Hopefully this much is clear to you. Next slide. String conversion and toString. String conversion and toString. What is this toString? Every class, try to understand, every class implements toString because it is defined by object. What is this object? I haven't mentioned about the object. Look, this O is capital, so it's a class. Object is a class, and object is such a type of class which can be considered as a superclass of all classes. Later on we'll discuss different wrapper classes, just like integer, float. So these all classes belongs to the class object. So object is a class which is nothing but a superclass of all classes. So what it says? It says toString. Every class implements toString because it is defined by object class. However, the default implementation of toString is seldom sufficient. For most important classes that you create, you will want to override toString and provide your own string representation. Fortunately, this is very easy to do so, and the toString method has this general form, string toString. So this method is defined where under the object class. So as because object class is the parent class of any other class, so it can be used by any class in Java. Moreover, the second point it says that you can override the toString method, and as because it is the as because any class of Java is the child class of object class, so you can override it. Next slide, I will show an example of overriding. So before that, try to understand how it looks like. Means what is the signature of the toString method. ToString method will definitely return a string. So to implement toString, it simply returns a string object that contains human readable string and that appropriately describes an object of your class. Fine. So it is simply return a string object that contains a human readable string and that appropriately describes an object of your class. So it is basically returns a string object. And by overriding this toString for classes that you create, you allow them to fully integrated into Java's programming environment. For example, they can be used in print and println statements and in concatenation expression. So actually in sometimes Java, what it does, it basically call the toString method implicitly, that sometimes we can't understand that thing. Like when we are trying to concatenate a string with an integer. So a string and integer, how it could be concatenated? Because that integer first converted to string. That's why now. So when we have used this under print statement or println statement, system.out.println, this toString method is implicitly called over there. And that as a result, we are getting an entire string when we are concatenating a string value with a non-string value, rather with an integer value or with a double value, with a float value. So we are getting the result as a string because string is concatenated with string, but initially it was not string, it was another non-string value which was converted to string by using this method toString, and that is done implicitly. That is the point that I want to focus, because the example that I just going to discuss is a bit similar with this concept. Look, just a minute. Showing you some example, then I will come back to the slide again. Just a minute. Okay, let me share the screen. New share. Yes. Look, this is an example where I used, where I basically override the method toString. It's a class box consisting 3 members, width, height, and depth. It's a constructor. I have called toString, rather I have overriding toString method. What I have written, dimensions are width, the value of the width, by depth, by height. So I have overridden the toString method. Very nice. Next, I have created an object of box class. This is my main method, right? This is my main method because I have public static void main. I have written under the main method. I'm going to create an object of box class with the value 10, 12, and 14. This 10, 12, and 14 are the value of actually width, height, and depth. Fine. String A is equal to box B colon. It's a string. It's a string plus B. It's a string plus B. So what it means? It means B, look, B is an object. What is the data type of B? What is the data type of B? Definitely the data type of B is class type itself. So box. So when I am concatenating box B, this part, it's a string part, and with a non-string part, it's basically an object. So how it will get concatenated? It is not possible to concatenate. So what it will do, implicitly, it will call the method toString, right? And as because I have overridden the method toString, so this part will come in place of here, B. And the value of S becomes box B and this statement. Return this statement. Dimensions are this. And when I am printing this S, this will give you box B, dimensions are this. When you are printing only B, it will print dimension are this. So println statements is calling the toString method implicitly that I cannot understand. Whereas when I am doing a concatenation operator, in this case also, toString method gets called implicitly where we do not understand, because this call is done implicitly. So that's why if I execute this, the result will be, if I execute this, the result will be, look, just a minute. Yes, for the first line, dimensions are this, width by this. For the first, when you print the B, it only prints dimensions are width by this, width by 10 by 14 by 12. And for the second case, when you print S, the string becomes, what the string becomes? String look like this, box B plus this. So box B returns dimensions are this, box B plus concatenated this part. So that's why the output comes box B, dimensions are this. So hopefully I can let you understand how toString works, backend of the print or println methods. So hopefully this much is clear. I'm going back to the slide again. Okay, moving to the next slide. Let me share the presentation. So hopefully you understand how this toString method works when inside the print and println statements. Now we are going to discuss the next method. This method is used for the character extraction purpose and a string. How it works? To extract a single character from a string, you can refer directly to an individual character via this method. The name of the method is char@. The name of the method is char@. Look, the signature of this char@, the A is in capital, and when you call this method, you must have to follow this signature because it's a defined method. Otherwise, it will not work. So, what is the purpose of this char@? And what parameter it takes? Int where. That means the index number. So, it is basically used to extract character from a string using index. So here is the index of character that you want to obtain. The value of where must be non-negative. Definitely you must have to give the index value which is non-negative and specify a location within the string. Char@ returns the character at the specified location. For example, ch equal to abc.char@1. What it means? It means it basically returns the character of this given string. Which index? Index 1. So index starts from 0 default. So index of A is 0. When you are putting as index 1, when you are putting index 1, that means it will give you the value what? The value B, because at index 1 the character is B. So char@ function is used to extract a character and specified index. More functions regarding character extraction. Get cats. What is how we used? It is extract more than one character at a time. Previously, the char@ function extracts one single character from a specified location. Here, the getCats function returns, rather extracts more than one character at the same time. What is the syntax? Sort start. First parameter is taking sort start. Second parameter taking sort end. Third parameter taking the name of the target array, rather where the extracted character will be there, in which array, that is the named as target array. And fourth parameter is target start. What it means? It means from which index the array element starts to copy in the target array. Once again, I am repeating. This method is used to extracting more than one character at a single instance. It takes 4 parameters. First parameter is source start, which is basically mentioning our starting, matlab source string starting index, source end, source string, end index, where to where we have to extract. Third parameter is the target array, the name of the array where extracted characters will be stored. Fourth parameter is from which position of the target array the extracted array gets copied. Means you have given such a target array where already some characters are there. Suppose you have given an array target where ABC characters are already there. So you start your copy from index 0, 1, 2 already occupied. So you start your copy from index 3. So in that case, your target start will be 3. So it may not be the all the time. It may not be the cases for all the time that each and every time you start your copy in the target array from index 0. No, it may be the cases in target array some characters elements are already there. You are copying more characters after that. So in that case, you must have to mention from where you are trying to copy, rather from which index you will copy the extracted character in the target array. Look, source start specifies the index of the beginning of substring, and source end specifies an index that is one past end of the desired substring. That is another important thing that I forget to mention. When you are giving source end, say if you have give source end 5, so copy, you have given source start 2, you have given source end 5. So that means the extracted elements are from index 2 to 4, not 5, because this is the reason. One past the end of the desired substring. One past the end of the desired substring. And thus the substring contains the characters from source start through source and -1. And the array that will receive the characters is specified by target that I already mentioned. And the index within target at which the substring will be copied is passed and target start, from where it will start its copy. Care must be taken to assure that the target array is large enough to hold the number of characters in the specified substring. Yes, that should be the point that to be noted, that the target array that you have considered to copy the extracted string over there, so it should have enough space to copy the characters, otherwise it will give some exceptions. So the conclusion is this method can be used to extracting more than one character at the same instance. Source start is the starting point from where the extraction operation will be done of the source array. Source end is the end point, not actually the end point. Actually, end point is end source end -1. This is very important for this function. Source end -1, and the cat target third parameter is the target array where the extracted characters will be copied, and the last parameter, that is the fourth parameter, is which index of the target array will be the start of this copy operation. So it may not be 0 in all the cases. So in that case, in this parameter, you can specify that value. Another function, it is character extraction. It is for the purpose of character extraction, that is get bytes. So this function will work as before, but as previous, but definitely that will not give you yes, that will not give you this characters, that is automatically give you the byte. But the thing is, it uses again, need to mention this, I already mentioned in the previous slide, that this character to byte conversion, you are writing get bytes, that means it returns a byte array. Yes, it returns a byte array. Look the function signature, it returns a byte array. But the conversion of this character value to the byte is done implicitly. You don't have to done any extra for this purpose. So that's why it is written. It uses the default character to byte conversion provided by the platform. Fine. So no need to do extra for this purpose. So get bytes is used to extracting the characters from a string, more than one character is better to say, but in terms of byte, not in terms of character. So fine, we are moving to the example again. Hopefully the screen is visible to you. I already discussed this program. Next program, look, that is the get byte method, just discussed, get byte. What it returns basically a byte array. It basically returns a byte array, and I'm returning a byte array. Look, initially the string was ABCDEFG, and I extracted all the characters from here. So get bytes is give you, it's stored inside byte array. The name of the byte array is B array, BARR. And when I'm printing the value of BRR, definitely it will give 65, 67, then up to G. Look, check the output. Look, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71. It starts from A. The value of A is 65 and the value of G is 71. So get bytes is basically used to extracting character from a given string, but it returns in terms of byte. It will not return in terms of character. That is a point to mention. And the last example for today's class, that is the get cats, the method we just discussed before the get bytes. This is the string that we considered. This is a demo halbo of the get cats method, right? This is the demo string, say, of the get cats. So 4 parameters, right? 4 parameters. Try to remember. First one is the start. I considered the start index from 10. Second parameter is end. I considered the end is 14 here. So the second parameter value is 14. So, but when it extracts, it returns up to end minus 1, not up to end. That we already learned. So it returns from 10 to 13. Fine. Where it will store, the name of the target array is buff. What is the size of buff? That is, I considered n minus start. That is 14 minus 10, that is 4. It's a character array, nothing else. Try to understand. It's a character array, nothing else. And what is the starting index of the target array? I considered it from 0. So from starting point of this target array, from the starting index 0, we try to copy the extracted characters that are stored inside buff. Next, what I have done, I have printed buff by the method calling system.out.println. Buff is, try to remember, buff is not a string, buff is an array. But here I am printing buff. What type of array it is? It is character array. Here buff gets printed directly. Yes, buff gets printed directly because again, that thing implicitly toString method gets called, and this buff character array is converted. Buff character array gets converted to the string, and that's why without using any loop, we directly print this buff character array by calling only system.out.println. So what will be the output of this program? Starting index 10, it prints up to 13. So try to understand. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it starts from D. The extraction starts from D. 11, 12, 13, and to Oh, so demo will be your output, and that is stored inside buff, and you have printed the buff. So the output shows demo. Yes, the output comes. So I hope this much is clear to you. We learned uh, this some character extraction function. Initially, we started with some string constructors. Then after we learned some character extraction function, and many more functions are there. In the next lecture, I will discuss more functions on string. Thanks to you. Thanks for your patience. Thank you all.